All right, what's going on, everybody? So I wanted to make an update video on my reef tank. So first things first, this is about 3 hours after the lights should be off in the tank, but clearly I still have them on. So some of the corals look a little sucked back. For example, the torch corals don't look as vibrant or as big as they usually do. Same goes for the Duncan. Most of the LPS are kind of sunken back. A-cans looking a little rough right now. They're not as big as they usually are. And the frog spawn, same thing. Second thing is, it's no longer a 25 Lagoon. I do have the SR60, so it's a 60-gallon shallow reef by Innovative Marine with the stand, and I'm running 3 AI primes. I will make a separate video of the equipment that I'm running on this tank. It's pretty much the same as the 25 Lagoon, just a little bit different, so I'll make a video on it. Yeah, so this video is basically just going to be over the corals and my fish and just kind of an overall update on how everything's going. So as you can see, everything's doing pretty good. The zoa garden's looking great. There might be a few zoas missing that were there in the 25 Lagoon. That just means the more dominant zoas overtook the other zoas. That's just part of it, survival of the fittest. Other things are doing good. Cyphastria rock's doing pretty good. I'm actually probably gonna end up selling that. It's kind of been just in a weird spot, just placed there. I'll probably end up breaking off a piece, gluing it onto the back wall, and then selling off the rock. These two corals are doing great. I forget the name of them, but they're basically an encrusting coral with kind of furry looking polyps, but they're doing great. They're growing pretty quickly. This red's growing a lot quicker than this pink, but they're both doing good. Frog spawn's doing all right. It's getting pretty beat up by these clownfish. I do think eventually it'll end up killing this frog spawn, so I do need to frag a piece and move it to somewhere else. And then I might try putting the bubble tip in its place, trying to figure out a way to keep the bubble tip from moving. We'll see how that goes, and maybe the clownfish will host that and I can save this frog spawn. Moving on, this piece over here is Cyphastria. So this is a branching Cyphastria. It's called lipstick Cyphastria. So it'll eventually branch out into the water column and it'll overtake this whole rock. It'll look pretty awesome. And it just takes a while for it to take root, take hold. So again, I'm not in any hurry, so we'll just see how it goes. Another big reason why I wanted to get a bigger tank is I wanted to get into SPS. So SPS is doing all right. I do again have these 3 AI primes, so it's not a super powerful lights, but it's powerful enough to grow SPS. It grows them pretty slowly, just because I don't have them on super high intensity. That's just because I have all these other corals, so I'm okay with the SPS growing slowly. They are growing, the color is looking all right, so I'm just gonna keep things how it is, and if the SPS takes a while to grow, so be it. I got time, but everything else is doing good. This few easier SPS down here, they're doing absolutely amazing. I have to frag these all the time. You can see I have pieces down here in the sand bed, but yeah, grows huge, grows fast, so those are doing great. This started out as a little stick in the 25 Lagoon, this branching Monty here, and it's grown massive in this tank. Leather coral has really taken off. I think that's due to the increased flow. So I think the leather corals do like a lot higher flow. So it is really taken off with this flow, and with the higher light. Adding this 3rd light did increase my light intensity throughout the whole tank, so I think that also helped the leather coral. A few other things, I got this plate coral here. Plate coral is doing great. It's another one of my bucket list corals, so I ended up picking it up. Up here on this rock, I got different types of Monty. I might actually move or sell some of those Monties and move that Cyphastria over to this rock cliff, and then I'll have to Castria. So the goal is to have them encrust this whole glass over here. So I think that'll look really cool. I got the GSP on the back wall there. So when I was moving it from the 25 Lagoon, it started off as just a little chunk, and I glued it on there, and within a few months it's already taken over that much of the tank. So very fast grower. You only need a tiny little piece for it to really take off. So there's really no need to buy a huge colony of it if you're starting off reefing. Just buy you a tiny piece. They're really cheap. You could probably get it for free from a lot of reefers, and they'll eventually grow into this. Back there I have a plating Monty. It's doing well. The torch coral is keeping it in check. You can kind of see it's growing upwards, trying to get away from the torch coral, which is fine. I don't want it to get big. I want it to just stay relatively small back there. Everything else is doing really well. I do have these zoas down here. They look like they're covered in algae. That's not algae, that's actually blue polyps. It almost looks like Aptasia, but it's not Aptasia. It is blue polyps. I don't know if you can see them, but yeah, which kind of stinks, because the reason why these zoas are over here and they're not on this zoa garden is because these are my favorite zoas, so I wanted to put them over here so they wouldn't get overtaken by all these other zoas, and I ended up getting blue polyps on them somehow. So there's my cleaner shrimp coming out to check everything out. So I do have one of him. There is one of my Royal Grammas. So funny thing about the Royal Gramma is I ended up buying it for my daughter because her favorite color is purple. She's 2.5, so she loves purple. So I wanted to get her a fish that she could, you know, it could be hers and she would love. So I ended up getting a Royal Gramma, and I ended up not seeing it for about 3 weeks. So I figured it died. So I actually ended up buying another one and putting it in here because I really wanted a Royal Gramma in here for her. And as soon as I put the second one in there, they both came out and about and are swimming around. The other one, it's usually out, but again, it's bedtime. So they live in this Monty shelf here. One lives in this back cave area, the other one lives right down in that area. And ever since putting 2 in there, they swim out open in the water column. They don't hide. I mean, the one's hidden right now, but they're usually both out swimming around. This one's a little more personable than the other one. The other one's a little bit bigger, but this guy's always out right in the middle, looking for food, waiting for food. My clownfish, they're doing great. Just beating up on that frog spawn, unfortunately. What else? I do have a hippo tang in here. So I know some people are going to get on to me for having a hippo tang in a 60-gallon. It is a pretty small hippo tang, and I do have a buddy who has a whole garage full of tanks. He's got one tank that goes from one wall of the garage to the other. So it's massive, over 300 gallons. So I'll give it to him whenever the hippo tang gets too big, and then probably end up getting another small hippo tang. Again, it's for my daughter. I'm in it for the corals. The fish are really more for my daughter and wife. They really like looking at the fish. So my daughter loves Finding Nemo. That's the reason why I have the hippo tang in there. He's actually right in there. That's where he lives. He lays on his stomach right in that area. Again, it's nighttime, so they're all trying to go to sleep. There's my target Mandarin. Now, I thought the Mandarin would hide all the time, but it's probably out more than any other fish I have. It's constantly swimming around, looking for food, eating copepods, picking at stuff. It is a really cool fish. I highly recommend a target Mandarin for an established tank. Make sure your tank is established though before you get a target Mandarin. I will make a care video on some of these fish. So I do plan on making those videos. Hawkfish up top, he just perches all day. He'll find a place to perch, just like he's perching up there on swimming around. There he goes. That's his favorite place to perch. So he'll just hang out on that pretty much all day long. Doesn't really swim too much, just kind of sits there. It's a really cool fish though. Really unique fish. Absolutely love that guy. There's my hippo tang. He's going back to his house. I also have a Tomini tang in here, so yes, I do have 2 tangs. Don't annihilate me in the comments. They live a great life. They got plenty of room to swim right now for the size they are. Again, if anything overgrows this tank, I'm not attached to them. I'll get rid of them. I'll give them to somebody who has massive tanks. And I'm basically just, it's basically just a grow out tank for them. I mean, if it's not me who has them, it's got somebody else who might have a smaller tank, or they might just live in the pet store forever. So they do live a great life in my aquarium. I feed them very well. Feed them a variety of diet. You know, they eat everything. They get frozen brine, they get live brine, they get, you name it. They get veggies, everything. So they live a great life. So yeah, this is just the update on my tank. Everything's doing great. Everything's growing awesome. Everything's looking good. Mushrooms up there are doing good. Hey, one warning, everybody always asks me about these mushrooms. They are awesome mushrooms, but I will tell you they are a pain in the butt because they do detach and they float everywhere. So they reproduce like crazy. I mean, I can't tell you how many of these I've just taken out of the tank. So they detach and then they grow onto other places. So where's my finger? There it is. So there's some there. There's another one. There's one back there. There's one over there. We got one on the sand bed. They've got some more back there. There's one underneath here. There's one by the Ghani. And the unfortunate thing is they sting other corals. So they do detach themselves and then they end up stinging other corals. They're not super hard to get rid of. There's kind of a pain because when you try to get them with the tweezers, they like suck in and then you have to like scrape at them. And the bad thing about them is if you scrape them and a little piece falls off, that little piece can turn into another mushroom. So that's one thing to worry about. They are really beautiful. They're bright, beautiful looking, but they are a pain in the butt, I will say that. Really consider getting rid of them, but then when you step back and look at the tank, it really pops. So kind of hard to get rid of those ones. Trying to think if there's anything else. I got corals glued up against the back wall. This one's doing good. I don't know the name of it. That Monty's not doing so good. It's shaded, it's just in a bad spot. I just need to take it off, re-glue it somewhere else. It'll bounce back. I've had that Monty all over the place. It used to be underneath here and it was like almost completely white. I took it off, moved it there, it grew back, but then it started getting shaded out. So I just need to move it again. I got more Castria growing up against the back glass there. I put some Zoas just to see how they would do up there. They're doing absolutely phenomenal. Growing out great. So they really like the highlight too. Got another Monty doing over there. It's like, the color is great. It just doesn't really grow in that area for some reason. I don't know, it's got flow, it's got everything it needs, so maybe it just needs a little time to acclimate to the area. I mean, it's been there for a few months, but corals are weird, so maybe one day it'll just start exploding growth. Kind of like this coral. I had this guy since pretty much day one, and it only had like 2 or 3 heads, and then just one day it just started popping off a bunch of heads. So yeah, corals are weird that way. They do things on their own time. So yeah, that's my tank. Hopefully you enjoyed the update. If you have any video ideas of what you want to see, just let me know. Again, I plan on doing some videos on my equipment, some care guides on fish, things I'm dosing, and just anything else. So yeah, if you would, just let me know what you'd like to see. Thank you for watching. Sorry for how long it took me to do another update. But this is the next chapter, the SR60 by Innovative Marine. Thank you for watching.